Alright guys, welcome to a new One Piece chapter reaction today. That's right, it came out today and I'm uploading this today. Look at me go. Yeah, yeah. And in fact, because I had a sore throat when I woke up, it's better now. It was a little bad yesterday at night, but it's gotten better now. But it was fairly bad in the morning when I woke up earlier. So I didn't really go out because typically I have like things I'm doing on Sunday and I go out. But I had a sore throat, so I didn't go out. Decided to stay in to like what I'm saying, let my throat relax. Also pause that, of course. I mean, you know, you know what I mean. But yeah, tomorrow back to university, back to work. Uh, I'm already feeling drained. Because it's Sunday, you know what I'm saying? But Sunday's also One Piece Day, both anime form and manga form. In fact, I just got finished watching not the newest One Piece episode, the one that came out today, but the one from last week, because I was really busy last week, or this week, I should say. So I couldn't watch last week's One Piece episode, but I just got finished watching it. I'll probably watch the one that came out today after this. But yeah, and also just watched the newest My Hero Academia episode, from the newest season or the last season actually. I mean, can't believe My Hero Academia is ending. Just a couple more episodes and it's over. I mean, we're already in the final fight, really, between main character and main villain. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get into it, but if you've been watching it or if you've read the manga, you know what I mean. So we're closing on the end of My Hero Academia, which is crazy because I've been following this series for almost 10 years now. I think a lot of people, if you've been following since season one, then you've been following for almost 10 years. So, and if you've been following the manga, then you've definitely been following for 10 years now. So, manga since the beginning. But I've been following the anime since the beginning. Pretty sure it came out in 2016, right? The first season. So it's been a while, almost 10 years, like I said. So 9-year run for the My Hero Academia anime, solid. It feels weird knowing that this is the final season. Yeah, this is the final fight. Um, My Hero Academia is one of those. It's definitely brought itself back the last couple of seasons, which is crazy. It had pretty strong start, a rough middle bit, and a strong, so far, a strong conclusion, or strong last third, I guess. So the first third was really good. Second third, third, or the last bit here has been really good. So since season 6, I think it stepped up quite a bit. But the first two seasons, and season 3 as well, was really, really good. And season 4 and 5 was like a dip a little bit. Even though it did like a good chunk of season 4, I like what they were going for. But yeah, as many people obviously mentioned, the school musical arc, and then especially the class A versus class B arc. I get what the author was going for, right? Diversifying the characters, but let's be honest. Now that we're closing in on the end, we don't care about any of the class B characters. I don't know. There was no point to those 12 episodes. I know. I get it. Training arcs are important to see how the characters develop and to learn about all the characters. And that's something My Hero Academia does really really well, is exploring all the different characters. Right? It's not very much just say only main characters are important. Who cares about the side characters, right? This isn't, you know what I'm saying? This is something that trap that Naruto fell for example, right? Where only main characters is really important. All the side characters, who cares, right? 10-10, you know what I'm saying? The amount of memes, even like Rock Lee, as important as he was in part one, part two, he's like, okay, Tamari, right? A bunch of the background characters are just kind of, it did kind of just become the Naruto Sasuke show with a little bit of, saying Kakashi up in here, you know what I'm saying? like, obviously there's some other side characters that did stuff too. Shikamaru was great in Shippuden, and yeah, the villains were amazing too with Obito, Madara, etc., etc., etc. But I mean, a lot of the characters were introduced early on in part one. Even Sakura wasn't all that great in Shippuden, in my opinion. What they did with Neji, oh, that was so sad, bro. Gar had a lot of cool moments. I did like a lot of Gar in Shippuden. But you get what I'm saying. My Hero Academia is not like that. I think in that aspect it's improved. But perhaps it did too much with that Class A versus Class B thing. But I did hear that around that time, the author Horikoshi was a bit sick or something. That's why the arc felt like such a slog. But by the end of season 5, and especially from season 6 onwards, I think My Hero Academia has improved a lot. But because so many people dropped off on season 5, season 4, but especially season 5, a lot of people dropped off. Not many people are experiencing the peak right now, and I'm just telling you that animation with the Bakugo versus All for One fight was incredible. That was actually insane. Those are some of the best. That was some of the best fighting I've seen all year, straight up anime wise. So, and this is a year where things like Soul Leveling came out, right? And that had some great animation, but genuinely that was some great work. And we also have Vigilantes coming out from My Hero Academia, right? Season 1 came out earlier this year, and we're getting season 2 next season. Yeah, I mean, I need to. Obviously, I'm gonna talk about all this when I do my. I'm gonna do my seasonal anime review that I haven't been able to get onto, but I need to do it for spring and for summer, and soon when fall ends, I need to do it for fall too. So I have a lot to catch up to on the anime review stuff. But yeah, I've been, with the exchange semester I did, going abroad and coming back. I've been busy. However, now we're talking about One Piece. It's gonna, I just, like I said, just got finished watching One Piece episode. Now we're reading One Piece manga, and I'm gonna go back to watching another One Piece episode, and then yeah, good addition the episode of Tear Eternity, Gotcha Kuta, and believe it or not, yes, I'm also watching One Punch Man. I know, people have been criticizing it, I mean, they've been dogging it pretty heavily, so I won't dog it here. You know what? I will not be the millionth person you've heard trashing on One Punch Man. I won't. I'm still watching it, and I am just no commenting on it for now. I'll comment on it on my anime review video, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just enjoying it. That's all I'll say for now. I'll get back to it when I get back to it, when I did the anime review for the fall season. So I don't know if it's going to be 12 or 24 episodes. Please tell me it's 12. The animators, you know what I'm saying, they deserve a break. The people working on it deserve a break, because you can clearly tell by the animation that they deserve a break. So hopefully it's 12. Hopefully, because they didn't get that many months to work on the season, right? Less than a year, like, well, obviously less than a year, but like what, 6 months or something, 8 months. Not a very long time to work on a season of anime, especially one that's as high action as One Punch Man, and one that is as highly regarded and highly anticipated as One Punch Man. You know, season 2 was obviously not up to par, but when you compare it to season 1, people coming in with really high expectations. So yeah, so but we're talking about One Piece. Last chapter was pretty fun. We went through it very quickly, um, but we had and yeah, thankfully it's Sunday, and it's because I didn't go out. Like I said, thankfully I could record it today and upload it today for y'all, because I wasn't busy doing other things today. So lucky you guys, and lucky me, right? Unluckily, don't know chapter next week, so we're getting this chapter. I'm gonna upload this chapter right now, right away for you guys. But next week, no One Piece chapter, so we're gonna do a chapter break. So maybe instead, then if I find the time, I'll do the anime review video. We'll see. But last chapter, yeah, we saw Rocks getting turned into dummy reverse, or he got dummy reversed by Emu. Soon, we'll probably the One Piece fanbase will find a word for getting dummy reversed by Emu, similar to how getting turned into half Xehanort by Xehanort in Kingdom Hearts was called getting Norted, right? You know what I'm saying? When in the trailers for Kingdom Hearts 3 before that came out, you know what I'm saying? People were saying, "Oh my goodness, is Aqua getting Norted? Did Aqua get Norted?" Right? We saw it in the trailer. Um, that was the whole thing, at least. Obviously, I wasn't caught up to the Kingdom Hearts games at the time. I was still playing Kingdom Hearts 2 or 1, or something like that at the time. But when I eventually caught up and played through the Kingdom Hearts 3, I did check out the trailer, and I did see that, oh wow, people at the time also thought Aqua was getting Norted, right? Even though that was fixed pretty early on in Kingdom Hearts 3. So my point is, we're probably gonna find a word as a fan base for getting Domi reversed by Emu, for getting turned into Emu's servant, similar to getting Norted in, as in Xehanort, Norted in Kingdom Hearts. So maybe it's getting Emu'd, or getting reversed, or Domied. Whoa, that's getting domed? Yo, wait a minute. Okay, I'll stop there. One Piece community will figure something out, I'm sure. I'm not so clever. So yeah, he went out and he tried to kill his own family, but luckily Kuma was there to save Aris and Blackbeard, which is crazy to me that now Blackbeard in a way owes Kuma for that. That's not something I was really thinking of. And then yeah, Brox destroyed Big Mom and Kaido. Thankfully, Whitebeard did not get his aura taken. We've already seen Big Mom and Kaido losing their aura in Wano, but Blackbeard must, from birth to death, we must never see Whitebeard lose his aura, bro. Because even in death, during the Marineford saga, bro did not lose aura. So if in these flashbacks we see a moment of aura loss for Whitebeard, even if he gets beat, as long as he doesn't get beat in a, you know what I'm saying, like if Imi beats him with Whitebeard or something, I want it to be in an aura way. Like I don't want it to be like the way Kaido and Big Mom were getting flunked. Thankfully, Oda knows he's not gonna do our boy dirty like that. And yeah, another thing about the One Piece anime that I wanted to mention, since I mentioned that I just finished watching it, is I realized while watching again last week's episode. So this week we're reading chapter 1165, right? That's the chapter for this week. But the One Piece episode that came out last week, so for the chapter 1164, that One Piece episode for that week, which is the one that I just watched, right? So I didn't watch today's One Piece episode. I noticed that, and I probably commented on when it happened in the manga too, but I noticed that, the Celestial Dragons themselves don't know about the Void Century or the Poneglyphs or all that stuff. So it seems like it's all a ploy by Emi and the Gorosei, because they know what's going on. The Gods Knights and the Gorosei, right, the Five Elders and Emi, they know what's going on. But even the Celestial Dragons are kept in the dark about what's happening, right? They're just foolishly just having fun, taking it all for granted. They don't really care. And Emu's basically using them as a way to further their goal, right? The Five Elders and Emu's goal. We still don't know Emu's gender, obviously. People still theorizing that Emu's a woman. So, yeah. But at the end of the last chapter, we got to see, saying a face-off between Rox, Garp, and Roger. And Rox somehow getting through to them, maybe by the voice of all things. Telling them that he wants to die or he wants them to kill him. So we'll see how it goes for in this week's chapter. Now next week there will be no chapter, like I think I just mentioned that earlier. So for next week there will be a chapter break, but we'll come back the week after that again for more One Piece, as we know. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's how it goes with all the breaks. So yeah, we're nearly reaching the end of the year. But yeah, next week we'll have the break and hopefully 3 chapters in a row, and then we're almost done for the year. You know what I'm saying? There's not that many more chapters left this year. Maybe 4 more chapters left this year. If we're lucky, we'll get 4 more. So, yeah, man. And there's also going to be a weekly Shonen Jump break. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We're on 1165 now. So maybe we'll get to, if not 1170, maybe 1169. That will be, you know what I'm saying, a haha, kek, fun, hilarious number to end on. We'll see. But yeah, man, and then in general, we'll see how many chapters in total One Piece will continue to go on before it ends, right? So, let's get to this week's chapter. I've rambled on for long enough. This intro is obviously longer than last week's intro. Last week, I remember reading the chapter really quickly, but I rambled quite a bit here in the intro. The chapter is called Reverberations, and we see Law chilling with Zeus. Why is he chilling with Zeus? As well as Beppo. So this is them, you know what I'm saying? This is the good life, the good version, where they didn't fight Blackbeard, you know what I'm saying? They did not get wrecked. Well, they didn't really get wrecked. His crew got wrecked, but they did get wrecked. But him and Beppo got away. At least they didn't get completely decimated like Kid did, you know what I'm saying? This is the good ending, right? Rainbow, sunshine and rainbows in the background. And let's see what the description says. Read the request. Beppo sleeping peacefully using Zeus as a pillow. And yeah. Law is sleeping on Beppo, and by Match and Takeshi, and yeah, both Beppo, Law, and Zeus are sleeping on a big. Is that a sheep? I guess looking thing. Well, they're all sleeping on a cloud of sheep. I don't know. I don't know. The clouds in the background have longer whirls than the sheep whirls, so, or if that even is a sheep. All right, let's get to the chapter. I'm excited. So, Rox is crying. He's saying, "Please." Garp saying, "You hear that too?" "Yeah," says Roger. "Just kill me!" And they're both about to fight him. "His words, his attitude, and his expression," says Roger. Swing! Here comes Garp as well. Because Roger and Rox just did a swing. Obviously, Rox is much bigger now because he just got Dummy Reversied. So he's bigger than both Garp and Roger. They're all telling different stories. Garp is going for the punch. Boom! Punches him in the face. Conquers Hockey and everything. Ooh, Rox, hey, he firms it though. His leg is staying strong. Still swinging against Roger. This guy's powerful, bro. Bang! Knocks back both of them, bro. Knocks back the Pirate King and Garp. Now that's, hey, my man Rox. He might die here, but you know what I'm saying. If you die fighting Roger and Garp at the same time, you got it, bro. Like, that's that. Honestly, you got it. If this is how he dies, W. W rocks. He lived an amazing life from start to finish, at least the way we see it in the manga. This man had aura the whole way through. I already love Rock so much as a character, so he pushes them back. Boom, they go both got flung. Now obviously Rox does, I guess, get a power up from getting Dummy reverse seed. I'm assuming that's true, right? So getting reverse does give him a power up. That's still Rock's aura to push back both Garp and Roger, flinging them towards Rock's side like this. That's pretty impressive. Ah, yeah. The skies are splitting again. The clouds are splitting. This is when you know true men are fighting. All right, these are Yonko level, Pirate King level fighters right here. Why does this guy look like that? It's split in half. We've got to evacuate before we're all dead. Let's steal the ship and get off this island. Here is Silver Axe. What? You mean Rox's ship? You really think he's coming back? Shiki, after seeing the treasure, right? Because Captain John seemingly maybe got killed by Ganzui, but well, okay. This is the end of the Rocks Pirates, says Shiki. He's running off. Hurry, to the shore! So this is how the Rocks Pirates all split up and form their own crews afterwards, right? Shiki forms his own crew and that rivals Roger. Whitebeard forms his own crew that rivals Roger, right? Silver Axe, Captain John's treasure, something happens there. And yeah, and because Yaboy stayed back, right? He took control of, Full Lead, or Beehive, right? Beehive Island. So, yeah, Wang Zi. Alright, what did you say, Vice Admiral Garp? Once you've got every living resident and sailor on board, shove off and get out of there. Here. What's happening on the island, Roger? Once Raiden and them get to you, wait off the coast. Okay. And there's still that massive egg. I think I mentioned it a couple of chapters ago when we saw the ship. But there's still a massive egg. Whatever that egg is, people have been theorizing all sorts of things. People were theorizing Uranus a long time ago. I think after what the Emu display with Lelouch, people are now thinking it's not Uranus because that's Uranus instead. So what is this egg? We don't know yet. But the Oro Jackson, Roger's ship, didn't seemingly always have this egg. We still don't know the full story there. We'll see. We'll find out maybe one day. I will be back, says both Roger and Garp. Roger here looks a lot like Ace. I see the resemblance. I think it's more just because Roger, we got to see him way later in life. He died way later in life. We got to see a much older Roger that didn't resemble Ace as much. But a young Roger, you can see here with the way his hair is down, resembles Ace a lot. Yeah, you can definitely see the similarities here of between Ace and Roger. This panel specifically, heck yeah. Garp does not resemble Luffy at all. Dragon definitely does not resemble Luffy. I mean, Garp does resemble Luffy a little bit, younger Garp, but older Garp, maybe a little, like, vaguely. But Roger, he at least in this panel, I will be back. But he says I will be back. Both him and Garp, it definitely resembles Ace. This is that's Ace's face, Ace's hair, and everything. But it's slightly different, obviously, because Roger is a different person, right? Good character design here from Oda. Rocks, Roger, I came here intending to arrest you both, but yeah, and my plan was to steal Shocky and the treasure and hightail it out of here. Yeah, also Roger's just in general more buff. I think that's the big difference between him and Ace. Roger's a more buff guy. Ace was a skinny dude, ripped, skinny but ripped. Right? He got abs, he got a six pack and everything, but he wasn't as swole. He wasn't a big guy. Ace was skinny, like you know what I'm saying? Skinny ripped. He wasn't like big but jacked like Roger is. So that's the difference between father and son here that we're seeing. It's the same thing with Garp and Luffy to be fair. Now Luffy got a lot more jacked than Wano, but he's still no Garp, right? Garp is a big guy, right? He's a big man. So both him and Dragon as well are not as big as Garp are. So Garp is. So instead, shall we team up for a minute? Okay, so this is how the team up happened. I have a number of issues with this, but I can't afford to let him run free. Alright. Swings his sword. Hey, Rock, says Garp. Jumps above him. Dash. This fight is amazing, by the way. Oda knows how to give us fan service. Come on. Like, I'm so glad he's not skipping this. Shows the full fight, shows the whole way through to how even Rox dies and everything. Here comes Roger. Swing. Ooh! Stabs in the back towards the rock face. That look you've got. Ooh! Grabs it. Grabs his foot. The curse. Huh? Is there any way? Ooh! Flings him again. To break it. Alright. Here comes Roger again. Just wake up! Conqueror's hockey slash again. Faster! Roger's going to keep fighting until we've evacuated the island. That hockey's off the charts! I can't believe it. Here's Gloriosa as well. Got a spot for me on the ship, I assume? Gloriosa, says Scopper. Unfortunately, Gloriosa, Scopper does not end up with you. Gloriosa doesn't end up with anyone, right? She's just now an old lady still in Amazon Lily. Scopper, because Scopper ends up with Ripley, right? In Albaf. So yeah, Gloriosa just, you know, for how much she may have tried to court other men throughout her, life. She was one of the most beautiful women in the world, right? One of the most beautiful women, even within the Kuja tribe and everything. Obviously, she was no Shakuyaku, but still, uh, she ended up just being an old, extremely short, stocky, almost. I don't know how you would describe her. Extremely short, old woman. So that's how it goes, Gloriosa. So Gloriosa escapes with the Roger Pirates, okay? And so does Shocky, which, okay, fair enough. Obviously, Shocky with Rayleigh. Listen up, Kaido. Okay, so this is after what happened between Kaido, Big Mom, and Rocks after it got long, right? You owe me for the rest of your life. You're gonna make good on that. Fat chance! It was Finders Keepers, Linlin, and you lost. Just watch me. I'm going to create a new crew where violence rules all. Okay? You think you're hot stuff now? Keep dreaming of the day you beat me. It'll never come. He's Strusen or Streusen, however you gonna say his name. Streusen maybe might be better. Come on, Linlin, let's get moving. Carry this treasure. I'll come and collect one day, and I'll be waiting to crush your spirit. We all know how that ended up. Here's Roger and Rox going at it again. Roger getting flung back. Damn, not even by Rox's sword. He just clawed him with his hand. Okay, Rox. Here's Whitebeard. Oh, you're the one who knocked down that mountain, aren't you, Newgate? Oh, so it was Whitebeard with the his devil fruit that knocked the mountain down. So it was. I thought it was the clash between Rox and Roger and Garp, but I guess it was Whitebeard. Who are you? Looks like your crew's falling apart. Oh! Oh! Wait, that's not. Is that Marco? Wait! No, he's too young to be. He's too old to be Marco, I mean. What? The name's Graham. Oh, he's not even Marco. He's Graham? Is that Marco's dad or something? That's Marco's dad. Because, yeah, Marco's one of the youngest members of Whitebeard's crew. Because there's no way this is Marco. This is 38 years ago. There's no way. If this was Marco, Marco would be an old man now. This is Marco's dad. Has to be. That's crazy. Okay, so Graham, captain of the Polo Pirates, Polo Graham. So Marco's full name is Polo Marco. Wait, I just realized. Hold up. Good job. Good job. I am so slow. It took me that long to get it. Oh, I freaking love you. That's funny. That's good. My name is Polo Graham. I actually never thought. We've had Marco in One Piece this entire time, and never once did I think, oh yeah, Marco Polo. Never, that never even crossed my mind. Oh yeah, could be a reference to Marco Polo. Never once. I don't think I've discussed One Piece with I don't know how many dozens of people. I've talked about, if not, I don't know how many people I've talked to One Piece about. And Marco's name has definitely been brought up during those discussions because, Marineford is something you talk about. When you talk about Marineford, you talk about Marco, or you talk about Whitebeard. You're going to talk about Marco at some point because he's Marco, right? He's got it like that. There's Marco the Phoenix. It's never come to my mind that, oh yeah, pirates can be a reference to Marco Polo, right? And Marco Polo, was he really a pirate? Or wasn't he more like an adventurer, like a voyager, right? He wasn't really a pirate, was he? Wasn't he more just like a dude that sailed very far and like made the route? What's it called? Didn't he like make the Silk Road route or whatever, like between Asia and Europe or something? Wasn't it him? Am I tripping out? I might be tripping. I might be tripping about that stuff. But I thought he was like maybe behind the whole, you know what I'm saying? That whole Silk Road thing, or at least his journeys were really important. Like, I don't know, almost 1,000 years now, right? Ago. I can Google him real quick. Marco Polo. Here we go. Um, an AI overview. So take this with a grain of salt because it's AI, but it's taken. Its sources are from Wikipedia and history. So, you know, Wikipedia, BBC, and history.com. Okay. Oh, one of the sources from YouTube, so it's not 100% trustworthy, but okay. Marco Polo was a I people say Venezia, Venetian. I don't know, Venetian. Sure. Explorer and writer, famous for his 13th century travels to Asia along the Silk Road. The Silk Road, right? Didn't he like make the Silk Road like a big thing? Wasn't he like one of the first people to travel it or something, or make it? You know what I'm saying? He spent 24 years in the east, including 17 years in the service of Kublai Khan of the Mongol Empire. Oh, because this is when the Mongol Empire was, a big deal. Upon his return, he co-authored The Travels of Marco Polo, a book that introduced Europeans to the cultures, wealth, and custom of China and other Asian societies. Okay, so it wasn't so much that he made the Silk Road, it's just that he was famous for traveling it, gaining a lot of experience and knowledge, and then writing down his knowledge and popularizing it in the West, basically, because he was initially from Venice, right? He was born in Venice in 1254. Yeah, that is 800 years ago now. Almost, not quite. 700 and something. He came from a family of merchants. Traveled to Asia with his father and uncle in 1271. Reaching China in 1275. Blah, blah, blah. The travels of Marco Polo, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm not going to read all this. I'm not going to read all this. But okay, yeah. So I've heard of Marco Polo. Obviously, everyone has heard of Marco Polo. You also have the whole thing, the whole meme. I don't know if you want to call it a meme, but it's not really a meme. It's more of the thing where people go, Marco Polo, right? That whole thing, right? That's also all him. Like he's got it like that. You know what I'm saying? But it took me that long to realize that, he said the name's Graham, and then I read down below the captain of the Polo Pirates, Polo Graham, and I'm like, okay, this guy looks like Marco. You know what I'm saying? And because in Japanese, surname comes first name comes second, right? Um, so I knew based on that, if his name is Polo Graham and he's part of the Pirates, just like Roger is part of Roger's Pirates, because Roger's first name is Goal, right? In real life, you would not call Roger Roger, you'd call him Goal. At least if you're going by first name basis, right? Right? Y'all are not calling me by my last name. I'm not gonna tell you what my last name is, but y'all are calling me in real life by my first name, Amin. Or Luffy as well. Luffy's first name is Luffy. You don't call him Monkey. You don't call Garp Monkey. You call him Garp. You don't call Dragon Monkey. You call him Monkey. Dragon. I'm tripping. You call Luffy Luffy, right? You you call even Marco. I mean, if his last name is Polo, you call him Marco, right? So, but we know in Japanese they don't go first name last name. They go last name first name. So this guy introducing himself, he's saying that his name is Graham, first things first. But also in the text box, his name being introduced as Polo Graham, because I know in Japanese they introduce the last name first and then the first name. I need okay, so his name is Polo Graham, so the last name Polo. So then when I went further with it and was like, okay, this guy's related to Marco, maybe Marco's dad. Would that mean that Marco's name is Polo Marco? And yeah, that's obviously what I mean. The connection, as you could tell earlier. That's why I immediately started laughing because that's when I noticed. Does that mean his name is Polo Marco? And then, you know what I'm saying? My brain almost like electrical signals connecting to each other, like my synapses connected in my neurons or something. They went, zzz, you know what I'm saying? You know, the reverberations of the polarization from positive to negative of, you know what I'm saying, the potassium and the calcium cycle in my brain. Yeah, you know, as neurons traveling, you know, giving signals, electrical signals, pushing it along. Bang! Marco Polo. And that's when I started laughing. Okay, anyway, I don't know why I tried to do some, to try to make it highly biologically, medically technical when none of what I said makes sense. But you know, I went with it. I'm a big fan of yours, says Graham. Say, you got no ship to go back to, huh? So Graham is gonna invite him back to his ship, and then he's gonna be like, "Hey, look." Sorry about that. Just had to sneeze. Didn't wanna ruin your guys' day. So he's gonna invite him back to ship. Do you think Marco's born by this point? Because Marco's like four. No, Marco's around the same age as Shanks, isn't he? Shanks is about 39 because he's a baby at this point. So Marco should be birthed at this point, but he should be like a 1 year old or a baby or an infant or something, right? I think it's because I think Shanks is 39, and I think Marco's also 39. Oh no, maybe he's older. No, no, wait, because when they met, when Shanks was a child, I think Marco's a little bit older, actually. No, no, Marco's in his 40s. Yeah, especially because he said, I'll leave the to you young ones. No, Marco's like 46, 45 years old. He's a couple years older than Shanks. So Marco at this point is not only born, but he should be like a child, not a baby. He's not an infant. He's like 6 or 7 years old, I think, at this point. I think he's 45 or 46, 45. Let me look it up. But if he's like 46, yeah, he's 7 years older than Shanks. So he should be like a 6 year old or 7 year old right here, or 6 year old. Because this happened 38 years ago. He should be a 7 year old, yeah. So when Whitebeard goes back, if he goes back with Graham, he's gonna meet like a 7 year old Marco, and then Graham is somehow gonna end up dying, obviously, because we don't meet in present day. So he ends up dying, but Whitebeard takes in Marco, I guess. Okay, yeah, it says Marco's 45 years old, so I was right. I thought 46. Okay, I was wrong about 46, but it is 40. He's 45, so he's 6 years older than Shanks. But I love how Marco says, "I'm gonna leave being a pirate to you young guys," even though Shanks is a pirate and he's only 6 years younger. Let's be honest, 6 years is not that big of an age gap. 45 to 39, that's not a big age gap. Come on now. Okay, anyway, I'm a big fan of yours. Say, you got a ship to go back to, huh? Team up with me instead. Get out of my hair, says Whitebeard. Hey, where did Newgate go? Says Stussy. Don't ask me, says Gonzi. He bro killed Captain John and now he's off running. Wait, is that Horo Horo powers? Is that freaking Perona's powers? What the frick? Oh my goodness. I think that might be Perona's power. I don't know. Alright, moving on. What are you doing? What are you doing, Dragon? Calm down. Oh, Dragon's back and he's causing a scene. No, what are you people doing? Did you know what we were aiding here? Dragon, put them on our ship right now. We have to rescue them. And if anyone argues against it, I'll execute him on the spot. Oh, right. See, these are all the civilians. Right. The ones that are being hunted. Respect, Dragon. This isn't going to end here, Dragon. It better not. Damn. Okay. Rayleigh, Gabon, where are you going? Don't you dare follow us. Take the ship out into the open water and wait. Nice. Okay, so those two obviously are not just gonna wait there for Roger. It definitely wouldn't make sense if they did. It's definitely their character to run back out, onto the island. That island will never have existed, says Saturn. Understood? West Blue. But is this Saturn or is this Emu controlled Saturn? Because the way he's talking might be Emu controlled Saturn actually. West Blue. Hmm. Because this feels like a control by email. Okay, the Gold Valley incident. S-level top secret classification. Records of clandestine operations and special hazard special hazard pay for naval base G11 and Cypher Pole number 6. Let me see if I pronounced that correctly. One second, y'all. Y'all will hear how the correct pronunciation is as well.
Clandestine.
Clandestine. See? Clandestine. I pronounce it clandestine. See that's not the one. See that? What about this one? Y'all are not prepared. Y'all not prepared for this one. Let's see. Ready? Damn, okay, it's not working. Dang, it didn't work, guys. Okay, what does this say? It doesn't say. The frick? How does it? Even Wikipedia doesn't say it. What? Damn. Man, I was looking into how Palestine is pronounced because I always pronounce it Palestine, and I just, you just pronounce clandestine. And I've always pronounced it Palestine, but I have weirdly heard people pronounce it Palestine, which is, I don't know. I'm pretty sure in Arabic itself they pronounce it Palestine, don't they? Or they don't say Palestine because the letter P doesn't exist in Arabic, but they go Palestine right with an F, Palestine. I'm pretty sure. Y'all can correct me, but they say Palestine. I'm pretty sure. So even in Arabic, it's not really. As long as you not pronounce Palestine, there's no P in general, so it's Palestine, but it's still with an E. So I wanted to check that, but okay, maybe I can just Google Palestine pronunciation.
Palestine.
See, that's just wrong. It's not pronounced Palestine, is it? It's not Stein. There's no way it's supposed to be. Okay, I'm gonna stick with the Arabic pronunciation, bro. I'm pretty sure it's Palestine in Arabic, but I'm gonna go with Palestine. Or I could go Palestine. It's fine. But then why is it clandestine or clandestine or whatever the English language makes no sense, y'all. Just you know what I'm saying? English language just makes no sense. The pronunciations are not consistent. Why is it clandestine and not clandestine? Why is it Palestine and not Palestine? When it should be Palestine, it's literally Palestine in Arabic, just not with a piece, with an F. Ah, man, most inconsistent language. This is why I remember I was watching the show. I forgot which show it was. It's this anime, I mean, with some friends. And one of the things that happened in the anime was one of the plot points was that I think we were watching. Oh, it was Undead Unlock. We were watching Undead Unlock, and you know how in Undead Unlock new rules are made after every, I'm saying, after every time by the book. One of the rules they made was that everyone in the world talked the same language, and I believe they made everyone in the world talk English. And we were all there like, oh, brother. Because everyone in the world automatically learned English, automatically knew how to write English, right? And we were all like, oh, brother, so that's the official language of the entire world. Out of every language you could have chosen, book English? Yes, it might be the most widely spoken language. I mean, it's the language if you want to be able to communicate with as many people as possible. It is English, but you chosen so many other language. We were here saying like Japanese would have been great. Even Japanese is, saying, way more consistent, way better. You know what I'm saying? Norwegian would have been better. Hey, the last 200 years, the Norwegian people, they spent time crafting the Norwegian language. I think they did a good job. Definitely better than the English language, which is a lot of times all over the place. You know what I'm saying? We were here like, we were at the start, we were saying, oh, please don't be French. Just don't be French. And then they said English, we're like, oh, brother, bro. Could have made it Norwegian. Okay, fine. They're Japanese. You know that made the Japanese made the manga. They could have made it Japanese, bro. Honestly, I would be fine if everyone in the world spoke Japanese. You know, I'm not Japanese myself. This is not even like an inner weeb thing coming out, but it's way better than English, bro. Way more consistent. Like I like the pronunciation rules in Japanese. I like the character. You know, the kanji system. I like that stuff. English, we just gave you an example of how stupid it is, bro, with clandestine and Palestine. It makes no sense, bro. So ridiculous, bro. Anyway, back to the chapter. Registry of participants in a human hunt expunged. Site of event God Valley. Damn. But, oh man, okay. Um, Island location, area, population details erased. Number of fatalities unknown. They just erased every story about all of this. I mean, that makes sense. That was what Emi wanted. That's what they got. Garp, did you know about that enormous black monster the government has? And they call themselves the good guys? Can't believe it either. This is important for Garp's character. This is very important for Garp's character. This discussion to me is so important. Okay, let's read what happened. Let's read here. Oda, please. Please do this right. Because this is like, Garp is such an important character for obvious reasons. Oda, you can't mess this up. If you're gonna quit the Navy, come join us. Okay! How does Garp respond to this? This is crucial for Garp's character. Ooh, this could be a very controversial chapter. Oh, you know, after this, I will go to social media. I will go see what people are discussing regarding Garp's character. If Oda doesn't cook with this, please, Oda, don't mess up Garp's character. Don't mess up Garp's character, please, 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 please. Okay. Nah, I trust Oda. I trust Oda. I've discussed this before. How important it is that Oda ensures that Garp's character remains consistent and good, and has good writing, and is a character that we all will still love despite everything. We'll see. Here we go. What does Garp say? Don't be an idiot. If I quit, who's going to watch out for the rank and file? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's more or less what I was expecting. It's like he's still gonna think he has to uphold the duty. Okay. So Garp has always seen himself as a sort of mentor, not just to Kobe, but even 38 years ago, he saw himself as someone that needs to be able to care for say the common soldiers in the Navy, because he knows they've got good hearts. He knows that the admirals, the ones at the top, the world government itself, he sees their corruptness and he knows it's bad, and that's why he doesn't want to become an admiral himself, because then he'll have to adhere to the Celestial Dragons. That's why he chose to stay as only a vice admiral, even though he obviously could have been fleet admiral if he wanted to. But has a sensitivity for the common soldiers, and he still has care as well for the general navy, right? He still thinks that the heart of the navy is good, of the general navy, of the common soldiers, the foot soldiers, even the other rear admirals and vice admirals, even some admirals, right? Fujitora, right? We see that it's not like all admirals are bad, and you know Aokiji, you can say he's lazy, but and it's questionable what he's doing with Blackbeard now. But Aokiji also showed to have some, what I'm saying, some good in him. And Garp raised Aokiji, right? Garp wanted Aokiji to be that sort of person, because that's how he was mentoring him, right? But then you have the Akainus who take it to the extreme, right? Who take their justice to the extreme, and I think that was the whole thing with Akainu being extreme justice, or violent justice, or however you call it, or absolute justice, I think it was. Um, but yeah, so that's how Garp sees things. Okay, keep it going. It all comes down to mass, doesn't it, Garp? Mass? What do you mean? They're both. It's raining as well. I love the rain. It creates a nice effect 'cause it wasn't raining just a second ago, but now it's raining on them. First of all, the color of armament is a power that doesn't yield to the devil fruits. And on top of that, I was wreathed in color of the Supreme King. There's no way it couldn't have hurt him. Ooh. What does he mean by mass? Roger, what do you mean by that? Yeah, but he was guarding with Supreme King too. So they cancel out. Exactly my point. There's no damage unless you surpass that. So he's saying that to do damage against a dummy reversey person, you have to have a mass of Supreme King that's higher than your opponent. Now that makes sense. Just pure raw color of Supreme King that's higher than your opponent. But is that why Luffy's not able to do damage to the Gorosei, to the God's Knights? His Conqueror's Haki was just not higher in mass? How does that work? If it's all down to who wears out first, we'll lose. There's no way to keep up with a monster like that thing, okay? So what does he mean by it all comes down to mass? I'm trying to understand this mass thing, because this is very important for the power scaling, right? They're really tired, huh? So you want to hit him with a critical mass of Supreme King Haki. Ooh! That's what he means. Okay, so immediate thoughts here are Joy Boy. What Joy Boy did with oh my goodness, how am I blanking on the name? Uh Frick friggin' Frick uh Emet. What he did with Emet, right? He just put up a bunch of mass, I guess is what they're trying to say, right? A bunch of mass in or Supreme King mass all at once into the robot that could be untied or in a rope that could be untied to release all the Supreme King mass, right? A critical mass of it. Now, of course, this is way more than any regular person can produce, right? Probably more than even Roger and Garp are trying to produce here, and more than what Luffy's obviously currently at least able to produce, but maybe he's able to, I mean, by the end of the story, by the end of the manga, or later on in the manga, if Luffy surpasses or comes into becomes powerful enough to rival Joy Boy's type of Supreme King Haki. That's my first thought. Is it like that? Is that what we're talking? Because it did seem like that attack had some effect because of how much Supreme King Haki there was. How much? Yeah, that did seem to have an effect on the Gorosei during Neckhead. So we'll see. Exactly. Don't even think about whatever stamina you need after that. In that case, you're saying we don't come back from this alive. I don't know though. Scopper and Rayleigh are coming to save Roger, and are they really the type to just leave Garp alone? If you can pull this off, all three of us will be down for the count. But if we miss, we're done for. Oh! Step his foot down. Garp's looking to the side. Yo, this is so good, bro. I love this chapter. Listen up, Rox. I don't know what I can say to console you, says Garp. I don't know what happened to you either. But there's one thing I do recognize. I recognize your sorrow. Bro, the way Roxy's crying. Don't cry, you idiot. Roger's crying with him. God of Fire. And look at Garp though. Garp's not crying, but Roger is still sad too. He's like, I didn't want things to end like this. I recognize your sorrow. That line hits hard. That's gonna be the name of this video for me. I recognize your sorrow is gonna be a long title, but maybe just sorrow. That's a great line. God of Fire, and he's swinging his sword with a lot of, I guess, Conqueror's Hockey. Same thing. Infinitum says Garp. He's also getting ready with his fists, paws. Conqueror's Hockeying them. Wah! Comes rocks at them. Bro, this chapter is so good. Oh, I feel like next panel might be the next, or the next page is gonna be the last one, or we're almost at the end here. Let's see. Wah! God of Fire. Ace! Oh, that's where the name Ace comes from. Explosion! Ooh, okay, it's not the last page. Okay, okay, we have at least one more page. Okay, they both slash through him. Or yeah, I mean, Roger slashes through him. Garp hits literally fists through him. Pause. They got him. Seems like they've got him real good, right? He seems like he got Toji'd all over the place. Like, oh, look at his leg as well. He's missing like. Seems like they cut off. Roger cut off chunks of his leg, kind of like in slices. So he dies from this, right? God of Fire Ace and Garp says Infinitum Explosion. Okay. Did they pour a lot of Conqueror's Haki into this? Are they all dead now? Are they all gone? Okay, here we have a text box that says the world government attempted to cover up everything that happened here, but the downfall of Roxy Zebek and his lawless band of followers, the Rox Pirates, who wreaked, wreaked. I can't say that word. All right, once again, we'll do this.
Reek.
I did pronounce it correctly. See, look at that. You get some nice content here. Who wreaked havoc on their era, cast unmistakable reverberations that shook the very world, and we don't get to see the end of this fight. But seems like Rock's eyes are shut, and they seem to have cut him up real good. It does say the downfall of Rocksteady back, so it does look like they might have killed him here, or might have succeeded. Because those look like body parts coming off of him, but I don't know. It's a bit confusing with this. We're gonna have to wait for next chapter. This chapter was really good. I enjoyed this chapter though. Wow, that's another chapter. That was incredible. Amazing chapter. Um, wow. Just I'm glad Oda did not skip the fight between Roger. At this point, Oda's been skipping so many important fights that we all want to watch. I feel like this one even he knew like okay this is too good of fan service. We need to keep this fight, and this did not disappoint at least in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Could it have been longer? Sure, but at this point even Drox himself was not fully in it. So I'm very happy with what we got still. Um, and yeah, we got to meet could be Marco's dad? Question mark, right? So that was exciting. Um, Pologram, Marco Polo. That's pretty funny. I still can't get over that. And yeah, obviously the whole thing with yeah, Scopper and Rayleigh running back. So they're probably gonna if Roger and Garp are down for the count after quote unquote killing maybe Rogs here, they're gonna save him in the end. Well, we'll see what happens to Garp at least. Roger's gonna be fine. I mean, we know they're both gonna be fine in the end, but you get what I mean. Roger's gonna be fine in the sense that he gets saved by his own crewmates. And then yeah, Big Mom and Kaido just having a little feud, but that's about it. Sheik and them are still running off with the with the loot, with the treasure. They're like the rock spirits are over, right? Gonzvi's like it's over, it's all over, right? So yeah, um, so that's that for the chapter, y'all. And yeah, Silver Axe is always running. So yeah, still don't know what happened to Captain John, right? Captain John's treasure and all. But fire chapters, firefighting. I'll upload this right now, actually. Now that I'm done reacting and recording this. So yeah, live upload for you. Not live upload, but direct upload after reacting. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this chapter reaction at least as much as I enjoyed reading this chapter. As always, I won't see you guys next week, but I'll see you guys the week after that, and hopefully get another 2 chapters in a row. Actually, depends on when the weekly shonen jump break is, but if you don't get 3 chapters in a row, then maybe 2 chapters in a row. That would be nice. And then end of the year with a weekly shonen jump break and another break. So we'll see. Maybe one more chapter or 2 more chapters before the end of the year. End up at 1170, or if not, the funny haha number 1169. We'll see. But this is it for this week, and see you guys in 2 weeks for more One Piece. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed reading this chapter. And alright, y'all. Peace.